That's my new project when I get off. I'm going to get into TikTok.
If you believe, as I do, that there is no separation between the CCP and a Chinese company who can disappear a CEO for 4 weeks, if you believe that the CCP has a vested interest...
So you're talking about the Communist Party in China. Okay.
And if you believe the CCP has a vested interest in diminishing our standing globally, and then you also acknowledge that people under the age of 18 are spending more time on TikTok than they're spending on every streaming network combined, are we comfortable, are we down with an organization that wants to undermine America controlling the media our children see? It should be banned, full stop.
Whoa.
In today's video, we're going to have a heated dispute in real time with Bill Maher. Here we have some back and forth questioning between Bill and our visitors, as well as some wonderful questions. Who's actually to blame for America's decline? Is it the mysterious hand of the Chinese Communist Party influencing our youth via TikTok, as Scott Galloway warns? Or are we just victims of our own moral and cultural decline, as Wynton Marsalis suggests? In a world where students spend more time swiping than thinking, the topic isn't just about an app. It's about who controls the brains of the future generation. Is prohibiting TikTok a response to a worldwide existential risk, or merely a diversion from the rot eating away at America from within? Brace yourself for this unpleasant dialogue between nationalism, thoughtfulness, and the brutal truth.
It's going to be hard. You look at TikTok, Marsalis?
Man, I don't.
I don't.
I can't even see it. I can't see the icons to get on stuff. You know, I don't. You know, glasses? No, but you know, of course, I have kids, and everybody is on TikTok. I don't look at these governments that way. We're corrupt. We do corrupt things. We need to get ourselves together. That's my thought as an American. And also, okay, the Chinese, they're Chinese. The Chinese are here. They're getting education. They're doing what everybody's doing. I got lost in China. I got off a plane in China once out of fear.
Yep.
And I said, I'm going to take the train to the next place. Whew, man, that's a big country. You don't understand.
I thought you didn't fly.
No, well, I had to fly to China. I couldn't walk, couldn't swim.
You can take a boat. You can take a slow boat to China.
But when you get out in the country of China, it's very different from the country of America. Mm-hmm. Man, it's huge. And there are plenty of people who are in a type of semi-slavery in China.
Yes.
We're not talking about them. We're talking about, man, the evil Chinese are doing this in TikTok. They're taking our information. We're taking our own information.
We're providing them with all the ammunition they need, but right now you have young people who believe that socialism is better than capitalism, and that is just wrong. And the reason why they believe that is because I believe we've provided them with a lot of fodder. You have a lot of content that is very pro-America. A lot of the stuff you talk about reflects us in a positive light. A lot of the stuff you talk about reflects some of the issues and problems we have here. I believe the CCP would be stupid not to put their thumb on the scale of content that makes us look bad, such that young people grow up and think capitalism isn't working, that our elections have been weaponized, and there's some truth to all of that. But the Chinese, who I think are very smart, have said, Twitter, Facebook, Meta, no, we're going to keep that shit out, but it's good for you. No, full stop, they're out. This is an existential threat for national security.
Speaking of stuff that's not good for us.
As TikTok traps an entire generation with incessant scrolling, Scott Galloway warns of a much more sinister objective, a Chinese Communist Party endeavor to destroy American beliefs, sow mistrust in capitalism, and impact young minds. To him, banning TikTok isn't simply an option, it's a national security requirement. But Wynton Marsalis turns the mirror back on America, stating the true danger isn't Beijing's ambitions, but the rot inside, corruption, moral decay, and a system failing its people. Is TikTok a CCP-engineered weapon, or just an easy scapegoat? For America's deeper problems, the answer can depend on whether you're gazing across the Pacific or inside the American brain. Galloway perceives this as a problem of survival, safeguarding national security, sovereignty, and America's worldwide control. By banning TikTok, he claims the U.S. would prohibit an enemy state from influencing its people and reassert sovereignty over youth-focused digital territories. Yet, Marsalis pushes America to clean its own home first, battling corruption, cultural deterioration, and a problematic relationship with technology. This argument isn't just about TikTok, it's about whether the ultimate existential risk resides outside or inside America's borders.
It is an interesting question. for liberals to be, like, hey, let's have open borders or close to it. And then when they come, but it's not in our states, and the Texas governor kind of called their bluff. It was like, well, you like immigrants so much? Have some of ours.
I think it's worth pointing out that the term sanctuary cities doesn't actually mean people say, we want you illegal immigrants to come here. It's a term that was not invented, but certainly championed by Rudy Giuliani in the 90s. It's the idea of if someone has committed or has witnessed, more likely, a crime in a major city, you're going to see some illegal immigrants there. So what we're saying is we're not going to share that information with the federal government to deport people. Right. That is the sanctuary they're talking about. It's a sanctuary from federal deportation laws. And we do this because we want illegal immigrants and everybody to be able to talk to the cops. So Republicans have been dining out on the term sanctuary cities for a long time, even though they used to support it. And Republicans in Texas, former Governor George Bush, as a prime example, used to champion their border with Mexico as like, we're different than the Pete Wilson politics of California. We actually have a lot of commerce and trade with Mexico. We like that. I lament that Republicans no longer have that spirit that you used to see in the Bush family and with Ronald Reagan, too, about welcoming immigrants.
Used to see in the Bush family, and with Ronald Reagan, too, about welcoming immigration. When Texas Governor Greg Abbott dispatched buses of migrants to Chicago, he didn't only show logistical challenges. He demonstrated a glaring contradiction in progressive ideals. Sanctuary towns, lauded as safe havens for immigrants, pledged to fight federal deportation attempts. But what happens when the reality of migration lands on their doorsteps? Are these cities actually friendly, or does their tolerance stop where their affluence begin? Abbott's strategy requires a severe reckoning. Is this compassionate governance or political rhetoric disconnected from true consequences? For all the pleas to welcome open borders, the chants of "not in my backyard" become louder, revealing the hypocrisy festering underlying the rhetoric.
But that's not really what this is about, is it? It's about, there seems to be some hypocrisy about welcoming them, but not in my backyard. That's what seems different about this.
But this is about terminology. It's like how education works in America. You don't see black people in schools, really. But you hear they're going to take all your jobs. You have to be careful. These people are coming. Well, where are those people? Where are these people that are coming? Neighborhoods, people stay poor forever, Democrat, Republican. Where's all the help? We backed away from that civil rights movement and ran from it on the right and the left. We have all these geniuses. Where's the lower class economic infrastructure that brings blood to fingers and toes? Oh, you're a finger, too bad. This is only for the heart. But we're good with terminology. Any type of fake term, a sanctuary city, it sounds good. Nobody knows even what that is. Mm-hmm. Then the expert tells you what it is, and you're going, oh, okay, that's good to know. We don't want them here.
Back east recently, first we landed in Newark and drove through. I never drove through Newark, and then we were heading toward the hotel in New York. So we drove through Newark, and then we drove up like Madison Avenue. And it was like, talk about two different worlds.
Where's the economic infrastructure for lower class people from all the geniuses who come up with systems? Where is it?
Well, my question is like, I so understand the cynicism of people because it's what you just said about Democrat, Republican.
That's fake.
I mean, it doesn't seem to change no matter who's in office. I sort of understand why people just want to break shit.
Stealing money is the only thing that remains. And the thing we have to do is not confuse corruption with the systems that are corrupted. It's like somebody say, well, I don't like religion because priests do this or this. It's not the religion that's doing it. When people first started taking photographs, it was always of naked people. So people were against photography. Oh, we can't have this photography. It's not the photography. So we have to, it takes a lot of integrity to have a democracy. And we're very short on that.
Critics claim that sanctuary programs are anchored in moral discourse, but typically collapse under the weight of economic and logistical reality. These cities, although proudly calling themselves safe havens, are frequently unable to absorb. the burden of enormous migrant influxes, resulting in swamped housing shelters, congested healthcare systems, and stretched schooling facilities. For example, New York City, despite its sanctuary status, confronts growing expenditures nearing $4 billion yearly to care for migrants, causing Mayor Eric Adams to warn that the issue will destroy New York City. Conservatives claim that such efforts undercut federal immigration policies by restricting local law enforcement from working with entities like ICE, letting illegal immigrants, especially those with criminal history, to stay inside communities. Furthermore, opponents stress an apparent hypocrisy. Leaders who plead for open borders and support for migrants sometimes yell loudly when those same migrants come in their communities, displaying a not in here in my backyard mindset. This selective tolerance, they say, reveals the performative character of sanctuary policies, which promote virtue signaling above actual, lasting solutions that account for migrant needs and local resources. So, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you don't want to miss out on the hottest celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to Daily Finder.